Hey guys, this is Peter Cunha, the New Jersey real estate giant, broker owner of Open Doors Realty. I'm here with Doug Mocik from Mocik Consulting Group. Hey Doug, thanks for taking time out of your busy day. I know that we were trying to schedule this for a couple hours ago, and you just got caught up servicing your client. So, Doug, can you tell us, what would be really helpful for at least my audience? What do you do exactly? What is Doug Mocik Consulting? And kind of just give us a brief background.
So obviously credit cards are the most prevalent way to take payments in today's world, right? So what I look to do is I make sure that the business is set up with whatever technology that they really need in order to process those payments in the most efficient way possible. Whether you're an e-commerce site where you have a shopping cart, you're a mom and pop shop where you have a point of sale system or just a regular credit card machine, or you're taking orders over the phone. We make sure that you're set up to make sure that you're processing those payments at the lowest rate possible, making sure obviously as much business or money goes back into the business as possible, and you're able to take credit cards as a form of payment. We obviously offer the cash discount, which I think is one of the most advantageous programs going around today, where it's a cash incentive, right? And take cash while it's still around and make sure that you're able to pocket that as much as possible. But we just make sure that people can take payments in some way, shape, or form through plastic in some way.
All right. So just for the people out there that aren't really kind of understanding, you're targeting business owners that accept credit card payments. Is that kind of what we're talking about here?
Exactly. And just startup businesses that aren't already taking credit cards, right? Everybody has to in some way. So we either look to transition them to newer technology and newer equipment, but usually it's just transitioning into our platform and our pricing structure.
Okay. And I've seen some of the stuff that you're doing. We'll talk about some of the companies that you're currently working with, but before we get too business oriented here, one of the things that I love about what I do is knowing the community a little bit better. Kind of tell us where you grew up. I know you said you grew up in Monmouth County, I believe by Asbury Park, right?
Yep, grew up in Ocean Grove, went to Oak Hill Academy in Lincroft for a while, and just has been a local guy ever since. Yeah, I know.
Right. I didn't know that. So Oak Hill's literally around the corner from my house. So, yeah, no, that's great. I don't think I've ever met an Oak Hill person. Met plenty of Ranny people. What? Just out of curiosity, who is the biggest competitor school to Oak Hill?
I'd probably say St. Leo's at this point. Yeah, St. Leo's, Randy, something along those lines. But okay. I went there from kindergarten through 8th grade and played baseball there my whole life. It was a great upbringing. Truly the best sort of education that you could possibly get at that point in time.
All right. Now, and you mentioned sports. I was doing a little bit of research on your bio. I saw that you did a Tough Mudder before we went live on camera. You were talking about it was the hardest thing. How many miles is that thing?
13.5 miles through Mountain Creek, up and down a hill 4 different times. It was a real gut check, to say the least.
Any casualties? You said you threw chunks a couple of times.
Just a couple of times. I drank too much water. You're running up and down the hill. I was like, I'm gonna just need this H2O. And next thing you know, that was the worst decision I've ever made. And climbing up and down this entire thing, it's interesting, to say the least.
That's awesome. I can tell you right now, all right, you just did this last weekend, right?
Yeah.
Did you sign up for another one yet?
No, in September. Yeah, straight back into the fire. We're not going to waste any time. It gives you something to train for,
Yeah, no, it's weird. I had a random conversation when I was at the conference, and I told the guy that I was buying a condo in Portugal, and his whole reference point of Portugal was that he did an Ironman out there, and he loved it. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's the next mission.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's awesome when you sign up for those things. I'll go on record right now. Nobody knows this, but my goal is to lose 50 pounds in the next 6 months. You heard it.
There you go.
It's gonna be my challenge. It's gonna be strictly a sushi and salad diet.
I'm gonna be your accountability partner at this point. Now you're locked in.
I'm locked in, right? It's official. It's
yeah, you have no choice now.
Right. So one of the things is I know you only have a couple of minutes left, and I appreciate your time.
Of course.
So one of the things that we were talking about is I know that you could service pretty much any industry. You had mentioned to me two of your current clients, which were one of the best seafood places in Seabright, which is Second Jetty.
Yep.
And you also mentioned a nursery in Long Branch called Garden State Nursery.
Yeah, Gold Coast Gardens. I'm sorry about that.
Whoops, Gold Coast Gardens.
Yeah, no, that was my mistake.
Yeah, no worries. Which I find really interesting because it's truly, I have some background in payments, and it's amazing when you talk about how many people, and we don't recognize it as a consumer per se,
Mhm.
but I know for a fact, what do they charge? Credit card companies charge 3%, roughly 2 to 3%.
Yeah, it's usually 3.5%.
Right. So where you're saving them is kind of, I'm assuming, on some sort of wholesale rate that you pass on to them via your software tech and all that, right?
Yeah, really what it comes down to is making sure that we qualify them correctly with their MCC or SIC code to make sure that they're established with the card associations to get the most advantageous rates for their business type, right? A lot of the times that when somebody's getting set up with a credit card account, they're just thrown into a retail sector. They're thrown into some of their arbitrary sector of their business. But if you make sure that you qualify these guys correctly and make sure that they're either a delicatessen, not just a mom and pop shop, or they're actually a nursery and not just a wholesale nursery, they're set up for different rates that's going to be most beneficial to their business and making sure that they're saving the most money possible.
Okay. And then just, one of the things is I was asking you off camera, it's what sort of industries, and you had mentioned like automotive and construction companies. Why would you say those guys?
So the reason being is because we can qualify those transactions as far as a less risky sale with MasterCard, Visa, Discover, and American Express. It all comes down to our proprietary system that we have and the virtual terminal that we process through. But it's really making sure that you communicate what their needs are with the card associations and making sure that they're set up correctly to receive the best rates possible. Those industries just happen to be very tough ones to get involved in. So when you do get involved in them, you realize that there's a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that they weren't doing appropriately, that you can now set them up and not change the way that they're processing or the equipment that they're processing through, but you can make sure that you can deviate the rates that they were paying and make sure that they're lower than what was already going on. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's like what we're also talking about, just the way that the market's running right now. It's just business owners are having a tough time, and this to me is one of those things that's, if you hire the right people, or you get somebody, and again, you don't work for a company, you're a consultant, that you can save people money by not doing much. And I know even in my industry, when I try to hire people, it's just really hard finding talented people. So if you can save money on the back end system somehow, it kind of really works out well. So I appreciate everything that you're doing.
Yeah, no, it means a lot. And, it's one of the few tangible things that you can really control as a business owner, right? There's only so many expenses that you can actually go out and find the correct consultant for.
Right.
And, payment processing is one of those things that's a huge expense to business owners, and they never really even think about it. So we just try to make sure they're able to do what they need to do and continue doing what they love.
Awesome. And I know you told me you had a hard stop at 4. It's officially 4 o'clock. How do people get in touch with you? Give us your telephone number and your email.
Yes, it's 732-546-5592. Sadly, I'm connected to this thing 24/7 every day of the week. And my email can be found on the website at thepreferredprocessor.com. And it's the easiest way to reach me. Always available, always ready to help out.
All right. And if you guys need to reach Doug and you guys didn't catch that email, feel free to call me. This is your New Jersey real estate giant, servicing everybody. And I appreciate you guys watching. Doug, thank you for your time, and looking forward to seeing the great things and how you're helping people going forward. All right, bud?
I appreciate it. And Peter, thank you for everything that you're doing. Honestly, you're really trying to put yourself out there in a different way, shape, or form that other people in any industry type are not doing. And just keep on rocking, man. I think this is terrific.
We'll start a band. All right. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
That's good to me.
Thanks for your time, man. Later, bud.
Thanks, Peter.